positivity, and that's what's important.
So what was the name of the challenge again, Doc?
It was the Doc Brass Promote Positive Perspectives Challenge.
Cool. And then which one of these, is there a video where you, on here where you talk about it?
Yeah, well, if you go to Instagram, the last video that if you see just my face directly speaking to the camera kind of thing.
Oh, is it, is it this one? Can you see the screen?
Let me see here. Yes, it's the, where your mouse is to the right one. That's
this one. Okay.
That's the one where I described the challenge.
Cool. So here's his challenge. Doc Brass.
What's up, nerds? Hope all is well. Doc Brass here, favorite finger drumming superhero nerd. Wanted to do a little challenge to focus on ourselves some positivity inside of this weird time that we got going on right now. If you swipe over, you'll have audio for free. You can just swipe it off of Instagram. If you want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/DocBrass and give me $1 a month, and then you can download the audio there. But the point is, I want MCs, DJs, graffiti artists, musicians, singers. I don't care how you express yourself in hip-hop. What I care about is having a positive message and flexing something hard.
There's language.
Okay, so why don't you use this beat,
okay. Well, we'll skip over to this part.
Yeah, see, I wanted to cut it before.
Yeah, thank you for the heads up on that. All right, so is this is the video part, right?
Narrow-minded persons as well.
Or is this language too?
Oh no, if you the audio that I used for the challenge was if you swiped over in the slide. Like that post was a multi-slide. I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know if you can do that either on browsing.
On like the desktop. Yeah, you would have to like slide over to hear the audio.
Look, here we go. This?
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
That was the audio, right? And then so here after this, is this one of the challenges?
Well, no, starting from after that video, that's one of the people who did a challenge, and that's actually another finger drummer named Mr. Mezu, who actually flipped my own beat using finger drumming, which I thought was very cool.
Shall we check it out, like a little snippet?
Sure, yeah.
Students, does that sound good? You want to give a thumbs up if you're down for it? If no, we can proceed to some of the live stuff. What do you think? I have Mauricio? You wanna see the video?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and Aaliyah, does that sound good to you?
Sure.
All right, let's take a look.
Well, I'm a chemist, and I've been testing water for the county for over 10 years. Exactly what do you mean by contamination?
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He like flipped it 3 times, and just to help spread some positivity through hip hop. And that's my man playing guitar, wearing one of my shirts, one of my older shirts. Actually, if you want to see a fun one that my boy made with the kids, he used the full audio. I think it's the video after that one.
This one?
Yeah, they used the full 4-minute song, but they made a music video where they are all dressed up in costumes, and they did a whole little thing for it while also rapping. It was really, really fun.
Hey yo, Dark Brass and 74K, trying to make sure that everybody just stays positive. Just keep living your life to the fullest. We got a little something special for you to keep you on track. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I want everyone to understand that money's not enough. You get more freedom and you get more stuff, but is that the goal? We all dream a dream, it's real, I promise. You have to work hard towards something other than the commas. Hold your comments if money is your dream. Do something that helps people get the same thing. I'm not a prophet or a guru. Half of what I learned can be pulled up on YouTube like right now. Instead of wasting time, get it like coffee. I hope you like to grind and don't quit too often. You gotta push yourself to a point that you can lend a hand. Cold world, but why not warm it up by building in the sand? Don't let anyone say you can't be what you want. They're telling themselves they don't want you to get up front, cause they think they're in first. That's their perspective though, even if it hurts. You gotta keep going without knowing where the wave is flowing. But if you stop, it's all over, and that's the only way you won't get any closer. Yo, let's take a break.
Man, that is wonderful. So you had people really kind of mixing it up and doing different things. Doc, oh, you're muted, right? I got you. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, sorry. I was muted. Yeah, it was really nice to see how diversely people wanted to express themselves and try and spread some positivity to a world that needs it right now. So it was very, very nice to see. Yeah. And, yeah, it was great.
That. Well, shall we have you perhaps jump on the pads and show the students and us some beats, some live finger drumming?
So I chose a couple of songs in particular because this next one I'll play for you guys has some particular levels of finger drumming in terms of how you layer in the number of instruments that will be played, right? So that way, if there were any questions after this, I can even show you on this beat kind of how I would do this kind of stuff. All right. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you guys for having me and spending some quality time with you guys. All right.
Cited anything like this one before. Here, let me explain this.
can only be the work of Dr. B.
All right, so that's one right there. You want me to just go right into another one, or do you?
Well, let's pause for 1 sec. So students, and anyone else, students first, do you have any questions for Doc Brass about what he just did, the song that he just performed?
Anything in from like any questions at all, really. Anything that comes to mind. I'm an open book.
Do you keep your face hidden from public?
When I'm in public, I don't wear my mask all the time. That way I can connect with, you know, fans of mine in the public, and I can like have a chance to talk with people the way I talk to you now. I of course have my mask always ready, right? And I don't, but you know, in an opportunity like this, I don't want to show my face because it's more about staying consistent with the idea of the superhero concept.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I really only I wear it really when I'm performing or if I'm doing any photo shoots. There are times where I'll have it on for over an hour at a time, but it can get pretty stuffy in there, so I don't want to stay in there all the time. I like to talk to people.
Aaliyah, did you have any questions for Doc?
I'm good.
Okay. Any comments or feedback for him?
Blue team decided the first nominee would be
No.
Okay. Should we have him maybe perform another one for you?
that had the main
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, Doc. Let's continue.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I'll say you were lucky. Now you're the white-haired boy.
Sense out of it, but he seemed pretty worried. Wanted me to rush a story into print. This can only be the work of Dr. B.
That's another song called Tale of Two Lovers.
Brian and Marlon, do you guys have any questions as well for Doc?
I like this. I like the beat that he was just playing. I guess my question more so, and I don't know if anybody's asked this or is curious about this, but in terms of like your anonymity and that being part of your brand as an artist, part of your allure, mystique, so to speak, how did that come about? Like, is that like more of like a taking cues from MF Doom? And for those who don't know who MF Doom is, maybe you want to explain to them who it is. Like what made you decide to put on the mask and be like a beat making superhero?
So great question. And yes, MF Doom is a huge motivation of the anonymity, because he and MF Doom, for those who may not, he's a rapper producer. He both makes beats, but he's mostly well known for his very prolific rapping. He's a very, very talented and obscure rapper. But he has a very tragic story that is, in my humble opinion, a epitome. It's a perfect example of how you transform the trauma that you face in life into a narrative for your career and how you want to represent yourself. He was one person as a teenager. He unfortunately lost his brother, and his second record with his brother that he was about to put out got shelved by the record company. So he both lost his brother as someone, so close to him, but he also lost some music. And he went into a very dark place. He got very upset, and he used that though to transform himself into the new persona that he will become most well known for, which is called MF Doom. And MF Doom is it's a play on words of his real name, because his last name is Doomalay. So he took the first syllable of his last name, Doom. But it's also a reference to comic books for the Fantastic Four, for Dr. Doom. And so he kind of took this trauma that he faced and transformed it into the narrative that allowed him to become what he called himself, a villain for the industry. And that to me was very impactful. I really looked up to that. And as someone who was also, saved by the culture of hip hop, I was also in a dark place, and hip hop culture really opened its arms to me and welcomed me. And it was a very, very humble experience. So, I've really devoted my life to just spreading that to other people. And to do so, I wanted to do almost the twist. MF Doom is more of a rapper than a producer. His beats are very simple, very elementary, but tasteful. But I wanted to do the opposite, where I'm more known for the production and more specifically the live thing, where not a lot of people can do what I do on the pads, and I did that on purpose. But instead of being a villain, having it be more of a hero, and changing my narrative into one to promote, helping, kids such as yourselves, and showing what things are out there as avenues to express yourself. And so it was a kind of a twist on MF Doom. I'm also a big nerd, so like if you guys actually like comic books, my entire wall behind my music is all comic books. And so I wanted to take the nerdy atmosphere of who I am as a person, which is someone who loves video games and comics and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and transform that. What's up?
How long did it take to put those posters up?
Well, so collecting these, this is about over a year and a half of collecting in real time, because I was collecting these comics as they were coming out from the publisher. And so it was about a year and a half of real-time collecting as they were coming out, and then it took a morning. It only took about 3 hours to put this up. We just, nailed these guys in there and got some sticky stuff and just put it up there. And I put them in alphabetical order because I'm neurotic, except for MF Doom's Mad Villain, which I put behind me because he's such an influence on me. And there actually is something special about these comics, though. These comic books are they actually are exact copies of classic hip-hop albums, but done for the heroes that the comic book is for. So if you know of Mad Villain, that's exactly what Mad Villain looks like, but it's female Thor instead of MF Doom. And I'm trying to think of what would be like a classic album. What's one of your favorite classic albums to the group? Anyone have a classic hip hop album that they might be aware of?
Brian, go ahead.
I mean, this one is maybe not like as 90s classic, but I don't know, one of my favorites is Below the Heavens by Blue. To me, that's a pretty
I don't think
classic
Marvel, you'd have to keep in mind that Marvel would have wanted to put it out, so it would have to be classic enough for Marvel to put out. Blue, as much as I love him, he would not be up there.
Yeah, maybe Illmatic.
Oh, yeah, Illmatic is easy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right there.
Very cool. I think I've seen some of these before. I haven't seen all of these, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, so they took Spider-Man Miles Morales and they made the exact copy of Nas's Illmatic for Miles Morales.
That's dope.
Yeah, this is 74 of the 100-ish that I have, but the point is that hip hop and nerdery run. They're like family. They're like brother and sister. Most of the legends of hip hop back in the day, they're all nerds. They all read comic books. They all looked up to these superheroes to make themselves better and to stand up for something. So that's also a big part of the reason why I also want to be a real life superhero.
And then Marlon is re-entering the room. I know he is a big classic hip hop fan. I wonder if once he gets back in, maybe he can give us one of his favorites.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I'm sure.
Marlon,
some of them I might have to dig into the other one though, depending on what they call out. So like if he says like Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, I'll have to dig into the other pile, because my wall was only so big.
Yeah. Marlon, do you have a favorite classic hip hop album aside from Illmatic?
It's gonna. I guess my next favorite one would have to Enter the 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang.
I knew it.
Yeah, because when I was young, I was really into martial arts. I studied Taekwondo for about 10 years and competed. And so when I went to the record store, the only reason I bought the album is because I was familiar with Shaolin and Wu-Tang. I had no idea what was going to be on that album. I had no clue whatsoever. And it's one of my favorite albums to this day. I'm trying to think of...
All right, here we go. Boom.
Wow.
Solid. What is that? Is that a DVD? What are you holding there?
That's the hip hop variant comic book for Squadron Supreme that they made first. It's an exact copy of 36 Chambers.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so you see where instead of Enter the Woo, it says Enter the Squad. Instead of the W, it's got the S. It's an exact replica of 36 Chambers. And I also, just because you happen to have mentioned Wu-Tang and I have that one over there, I also have the Iron Flag one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, so it kind of shows, helps kids read, because comic books is a great way to read if you're not a big fan of books, like I sometimes can. I mean, I like books, but if you don't always like books, comic books are a great entry for reading as well.
Graphic novels like Watchmen and...
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's a really how I learned to read was through video games and comic books.
Are you familiar with the graphic novel Mouse?
Oh, that's amazing.
No, Mouse.
Yeah,
really?
That's incredible.
It's a graphic novel about mice that it parallels, or it's supposed to be like a commentary on Nazi Germany.
What? Mouse. That sounds like an Image property. Is that Image Comics?
No.
It was a book, right?
Yeah, it was a book. MAUS. I recommend that to the students as well.
MAUS. Oh, that, yeah. Let me write that down. Where's my pad here? Always keep a pad and pen nearby. That's what I always say.
I agree.
MAUS. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's a really, it's a 3-part series. It's really, really powerful, really good.
I love stuff like that. Let me find an empty page.
So Mauricio and Aaliyah, do you folks have any other questions or any things that you want to share with or tell Doc?
Yeah, anything that I might be able to help out with?
Mauricio, go ahead. I'm sorry, you were breaking up a little bit.
I got nothing.
Got nothing? Okay, cool. All right, should we have Doc maybe do a couple more beats for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, yeah, all right, let's go. Do.
Who comes your party most every day? Who comes your party most every day? Who comes your party most every day? This can only be the work of Dr. B. This can only be the work of Dr. B.
Ooh, buddy.
Oh my God.
about the yellow mask? Can he do what he says?
Let's hope he can't, Mr. White.
But you're afraid he can. And the devil of it is, so am I.
There you go. Uno más.
Uno más, por favor.
Only be the work of Dr. B.
There you go.
Let me unmute myself. I said, wow.
Yeah, nice. Love it.
Yeah, that was really cool. So you're moving your fingers really fast, and you're playing several different things at one time when you're doing that.
Yeah.
How many hours a day do you practice, or have you practiced to get to where you are?
I mean, we're talking. All right, so I can at least say collectively thousands of hours, because at this point we're talking about a year or two of practice and preparation before I even started posting my own stuff, which was about almost 4 years ago now. So we're talking about upwards of 6 years worth of practice, specifically on finger drumming, as I continuously practice. And I would say that, so because of, scheduling, right? I'm an adult and I have to work and, do other things in life. So with time management at play, sometimes I will get at least an hour a day, or what I will usually do is try and get a couple of days in the week that I put in a few hours of practice and making beats. And as I'm making beats, it's also practice. Sometimes the way that I come up with a new technique, for example, the pattern where I'm doing
Wait, Doc, can you turn your camera on just so we
oh
can see
wait
what you're doing?
you know what happened? Sorry, I'm on low battery, so it was trying to tell me to plug my thing in.
Right.
All right, so pretty much as I was so for certain patterns, when I'm creating the beat, I'm like, man, you know what would sound cool if I did a fill where, and the beat I'm talking about is this part where I do that space. I was like, I want to do a fill, right? And so I was thinking what kind of fill I wanted to do, and when I wanted to do a hat fill, now I could as a younger finger drummer, I would just might do a regular hat fill, which would be not playing the kick and not playing the snare, but only playing the hat. So it'll be like, right, like just doing just a hi-hat roll kind of thing. But as a way to want to push myself, I said, all right, well, one, let's do a faster roll, right? So I and now you could technically do that with two fingers, but it almost has kind of a triplet feel when I did it this way. Then I had to ask myself, well, if I want to keep pushing myself as a finger drummer, I want to play the beat the same time that I'm playing the hat roll. And that's where the complications come in, because you're not just talking about performing a hat roll, but playing and I use my thumb for this. I use my thumb to play the kick and the snare so that my pointer fingers can be used for the rolls. So it'll look like this. And then it also frees up, because of the way that I had to practice that over and over and over again. Now I can even add like, and I just practice different rhythms over and over again. But it starts also, like I said, with making a beat, because as I'm making it, I'll want to try something new. And then in trying something new, I'll teach myself a new pattern, and that could take hours. So as far as to answer the question, collectively thousands of hours, and usually about at least 10 hours a week, at least, give or take.
Got it. So Brian and Marlon, I guess, Brian, do you have any questions for Doc? Just things that you're wondering about?
Yeah, actually, I know you're influenced by MF Doom, obviously, but what other artists do you listen to, like, in that realm? Like, I'm sure Ghostface. Have you listened to, like, Captain Murphy,
sure.
like any of Flying Lotus's alter ego as well?
Yep, listen to all of them. I definitely enjoy Flying Lotus. He hasn't been very productive, so sometimes it's just hard to keep up when people just put stuff out obscurely out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Same kind of thing goes for bands like the Avalanches. They only put out one album, then 14-year period, and then nothing. But so the people who I really enjoy outside of MF Doom, Czarface.
Okay.
Fantastic. If you aren't aware who they are, It's actually Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang Clan with 7L and Esoteric, who is a producer MC combo on themselves. So the three of them together make Czarface, which is their own superhero comic squad. And they put out at least one project a year, including a project with Ghostface Killah, MF Doom, their own stuff with just multiple guest artists. So Czarface is great. I love Blue. I'm actually like that you mentioned Blue.
Yeah.
He actually, I don't know if you heard the Blue, one of Blue's most recent projects with Damu the Fudge Monk.
I don't think I've listened to it yet. No.
I forget what it. I think it's called Weather Patterns, Weather Control.
I think
I might be wrong. But if you look up Blue, or more specifically, who I was going to bring up with was Damu the Fudge Monk. Damu the Fudge Monk is one of my favorite current producers, period. He's my age, so he's a younger guy. He's part of the next generation carrying the torch for hip-hop. He's based out of DC, and his entire career was built upon him making beats on his MPC 2000 in the city on YouTube. And then he got picked up by Redef Records, which is, a fantastic, like, core hip-hop record label down in DC. And Damu the Fudge Monk is like if you took Jay Dilla's boom bap period and he encapsulizes it, right? Which might seem like a bold statement, but it's true. I'm not the first person to make that comparison. So Damu the Fudge Monk, Czarface. And here's where I then kind of say something that might seem a little weird. I don't listen to, outside of underground artists, because I could drop underground artists' names like that, because I believe in supporting other people as well, not just the people who already get the clout, right? Of course, I want to buy their albums, but, you know, the people who I want to really think about and pursue are other people like Gaki music. Gaki's fantastic, you know, but regardless, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I personally kind of run the philosophy of, if you're really involved in hip hop culture, like as a culture, not just hip hop music, but hip hop as a culture, you've at least for me, I find myself listening less often to hip hop and more often to everything else. Jazz, classical, funk, disco, you know, like anime soundtracks, original soundtracks, stuff like that. Like, I find myself listening to everything else because it's all material I might eventually want to hear, and I hear the hip-hop groove in the music I'm listening to, right? A great example is one of my favorite composers is Nikolai Kapustin, okay? Not very well known, but he is, imagine if you took jazz and classical and just really put it together. Nikolai Kapustin is phenomenal. And so earlier, if you actually look at my story on Instagram, I was listening to Nikolai Kapustin, but it made me want to beatbox. So I'm beatboxing to Nikolai Kapustin, and I'm going to sample that song later and make a beat out of it. All right. So I'm listening to everything else, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Gotcha.
Cool. So we have just about 3 minutes left. Students, do you have any final questions or thoughts for Doc? Anything pop up for you?
Who wants to start wearing mask?
Boom.
I mean, we're almost halfway there. They got us wearing masks when we leave the house now, right? So
I know, right?
right?
No, it's true. And, you know, look, if it promotes the superheroism and not the vandalism, then I promote it, you know? Like, we should be trying to be the superhero that we've always wanted to be inside of ourselves, but you want to be the change that you want to see in the world. So yeah, it can be very tough to stand up for what you think is right, but that's what being a hero is about. So even if you want to be more like Reed Richards, who's Mr. Fantastic, where everybody knows who he is and he wears his face proudly as a superhero, or you want to be like Spider-Man and hide yourself, whatever hero you find motivation in, try and be that hero.
I have a question for you, Doc. When when this whole COVID thing is over, I noticed I went on to looking for Damu the Fudge Monk videos, and I found one that I didn't even know existed by some folks in Russia who've done some pretty amazing battles. They had the Executioners battle a Russian DJ crew, and I'm looking here right now. They have a Damu the Fudge Monk battling someone, I don't know who, but I'm wondering if you would consider entering into a battle if they invited you to Russia.
Oh, that looks like V1. Is that V1?
That is.
Yeah, it is V1. Oh, yeah.
Would you participate in a V1 battle against someone, and who would you want a V1 battle?
Oh, that's a bold question. So by all technicality, if I were to pick one person who I would immediately go to challenge, it would be Arab Music.
I knew it.
Yeah, it's for one reason in particular. It's for one reason specifically. And look, hopefully he maybe finds his way around to hearing this. I've met people who have his number who have texted him, and we've almost been like this close to getting there. Arab Music is very arrogant about his skills, and I know for a fact that if we were to be put head to head, I already have a routine set up where I just perform his routine and then say, "Can you do this?" and then just do a bunch of stuff that I know he can't do. I've been waiting for this moment for years, so
Okay.
of course that's my go-to. But
can we show a quick clip? So the students can see Arab Music MVP of the MPC? Would that be a good one to show? Or
yeah, that's one of his more well-known ones. Is the MVP of the MPC, or actually no, the one below.
Yep.
Also is also a good one.
This one?
Yeah, the one where he's on the radio station.
Just so we can go really quickly, because we only have about we're a minute over, but
I guess you just need to skip to his interview, but because you know what it is, it's an interview, so you need to skip through that part. Really, any of them are going to be just skip to where you start to see him smashing pads, and then just watch him.
Okay.
But he's known for his speed. Which is the thing that I've tried to detract. It's not just about speed; it's about technicality. So
right. Okay.
An interesting thing here.
Where he plays the machine. Here it is. Arab Music, definitely considered to be one of the top.
Oh yeah.
Drummers in the world.
100%.
All right, so I think we get the idea. The guy
Yes.
is pretty amazing finger drummer.
Yes. Yeah, he's got chops.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I see someone's ready to battle. Okay.
He's like, he's all right.
Yeah, he's got chops. Well, look, it's kind of one of those things where if you like when you analyze versus not. So I'm not here to storm up controversy over A-Rap Music's technical ability. He's a fantastic finger drummer, right? He is undoubtedly a fantastic finger drummer. He's tight, and you have to be tight in order to get that fast and still hear the musical. You know what I mean in it. But there just isn't any. I call him two-finger Tony. He only uses two fingers really, and there's no polyrhythm. There's no different kind of time signatures. There's no experimentation in how many things you can do at once. You know, which is where, again, if I were to battle him, that's what I'm going to try and do, right? Is using something where I'm not just playing but then on top of that, not just playing the right? That's two-finger Tony stuff. What I try and do is more of a, can you play the tambo and the clap and the kick and the snare and the hat and the thing and the thing? Because that's what I can do, which is you know what I mean? So like, and that's when it comes down to this. As a wise man once said, there's levels to this, right? So let's step up our levels. That's all I'm saying.
And what about Jeremy Ellis? What's your rating of him, and how do you feel you would line up in
Fantastic.
a battle with him?
Jeremy Ellis, and actually more importantly as well, the finger drumming OG, who I don't think gets enough credit, who is David Fingers Haynes.
Uh-huh.
David Fingers Haynes and Jeremy Ellis fall under the category of what I call a drummer using an MPC or like using a drum pad.
Just so we can show our students, what would be the best video to show them so they can see what Jeremy Ellis's skill is and what he's capable of? Because these are some older videos up here.
Well, he hasn't really done anything too current, but a great example of what he's currently capable of, I guess, would be if you look at, I think that's from 2015, right below the purple video is that one right there.
Beat Fighter, this one?
Yeah, that one's impressive because he's using one hand to play the melody line and then another one to play the percussive line, like a completely different machine.
Should we do this one or this one?
Do the one well, if you want to see him playing more of a drum set, then do the one that you first the top one. If you want one of what he's currently capable of, I would say do the bottom one.
All right, let's just go with the shorter one, and then students will finish up after this. Unless you have any final questions, this is Jeremy Ellis, who's considered, I would also say, one of the best.
Oh, absolutely. You see how he's using the machine to play.
What were you saying, Doc?
Like that's. I mean, I don't know if some people would really notice how impressive that is, but that right there is what's impressive in finger drumming is the levels and accents to how you're playing your drumming, and not just the drumming but the samples, because he's also not just doing a 1 2 3 4 sometimes. He's doing like a 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3. You know what I mean?
So I think we're talking probably levels above both myself and perhaps what the students understand in terms of, maybe most of us, in terms of finger drumming. But so students, any final thoughts or questions for Doc Brass before we end for today? Mauricio or Aaliyah, you still with us? Maybe you want to unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh yeah. Any final questions or comments for Doc before we end?
How many songs have you do you have?
At this point, I probably have a few hundred. Now, I don't have them all memorized to the exact chord right now. If I wanted to, say, play some older beats, I would need to go kind of refresh my memory on the song patterns. But in terms of my overall catalog, I would say that there's total, like my Instagram is my catalog. So I think at this point there's 300 something posts. So it's fair to say there's at least 300 beat videos. All different, you know.
These are all on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I never deleted my first Instagram post. You could literally scroll all the way down to my first Instagram post and watch go through the whole story of my career.
So yeah, you can check out. You can follow him on Instagram. It's just DOKBRASS on Instagram. Doc Brass. Aaliyah, any questions or comments? You're going to want to unmute yourself if you do have anything. I found that helps personally.
Yeah, that works. I can dig it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna assume that that's no for right now. So, Doc, just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate.
No, thank you for having me, man. It really means a lot. I like being able to just vibe out with you guys and answer any questions that do come up. Just get to know everybody and the kids, and hopefully, if you guys like what you saw or like the idea of what you saw, feel free to reach out. You know, I do live sessions where I'll do finger drumming and stuff like that, and it's really just about spreading the good vibes and using this culture to improve yourself.
Cool.
So.
Well, this coming Friday is going to be our final session. It'll be the students' album release party. I don't know if you can see in the background behind me. There is artwork for the Aaliyah School for that group. And then Mauricio, if you look in my background now, you'll see yourself. Yeah. So we'll be releasing these albums, all the original student beats. We'll be posting it on SoundCloud and on Bandcamp. Thank you so much, Doc Brass, and thanks Marlon, Elwin, and Aaliyah. Mauricio,
thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Stay nerdy out there. You know?
Absolutely. Everyone, take care, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Friday, same time, same place. All right, take care, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.